Hi, this is Kara. I'm going to take you through a layout process and how I make a scrapbook layout. I'm starting with some of the My Mind's Eye Pressure collection that I won. Here's my picture. It's Anthony a few years ago throwing leaves in the front yard. And these are the cards and stickers and embellishments from that collection. And there's the stamps. And I also pulled out some Stampin' Up! Stamps because of the leaves and splotches and the text. And I'm going to use some of the arrows. And I also pulled out some watercolor crayons, some washi tape. I put the red aside because it wasn't the same red. I like the wood grain because it goes with the tree theme, and this October afternoon one really matches, even though it's flowers. That orange one didn't match, but here's some other orange embellishments that seem to match well. So there's my picture. I'm going to make the background. I put away the blue because it was a bit too much blue with it. Kind of matched too much with this coat, and it was just too much blue. So here I'm just trying to get some color onto my brush, and what I'll do is get it really saturated, and then I'll add some water and get a gradient of saturation. So I have really saturated yellow and then slowly going down. And I do the same thing with the red here. This didn't get saturated enough, so I'm adding more color. There you go, that's darker and then really, really light. So we have three different types of the same color. That's where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to put it aside for now, let it dry. And I'm just going to pick out what paper I want to map my photo on. These are all a bit too busy. And I'm not going to use the red to mat the photo, but I am going to use the red. I want a little strip going down the side, either of my photo mat or the page itself. I have the branding strip. And then I'm going to cut out some of these cards to use to embellish the page. Boring, even for me. But it has to be done. And it's even sped up, and it's still boring. So I took the Happy Days Are Here with those cute little arrows and these fun arrows. Just give direction, you know, with the whole throwing leaf thing. And then what I'm going to do is decide between these two. I like the blue better, so I took away the red. And which way? This way? No, that way's better. I'm going to cut this out. And I just rip because I like to put stuff on the bottom, maybe a title or whatever. So leave some room for embellishments or title or something. Maybe stick that in there. Don't know yet. Take out some more embellishments. I like that geotag. And I really like these arrows too, so I'm going to actually cut them right off the page. It's easier to move them around with them sticking to the page. And just going through the things that I want to use first. I think will go the best, and then I could choose. So this is pretty much dry. Let it back out. And I saw the red just wasn't red enough. Kind of faded once it dried. So I'm adding a little more red. I'm fighting with it a little bit because it wasn't dripping properly. I want a big fat drop so that it'd be. Oh, here comes Hector. A big fat drop so that it would show up more. Alright, okay, so still working on the red, trying to get them fighting it, trying to get some good big dots. But this brush is not the greatest, so I won't be using it again. You'll see here, I think coming up right now, I put a big blood splotch right there, but those are a little bit too much. So I just grab a Kleenex and dab those, but they're going to be covered up. You'll see in a second that you're not even going to see them. There, see, and my mat's too long, so I give it a little rip. And where am I going to put that red stripe? I think I'll put it along the side of the page. I grab my trimmer and make sure that I cut off the left side so that my splotches stay where I want them to be. And then I'm going to line it up. I'm going to use that strip that I cut off to make sure that it's 12 by 12. And then just fight it a little bit till I get it on there, right? Just make sure it's the right width. It's not. Okay, so my camera died and I was doing my background. So here I'm just reenacting the whole thing. So what I did was I penciled off where my picture of my mat would go so I could have an idea of where I wanted to put my stuff. I took this leaf stamp and some distress ink and I just kind of rolled it on. I didn't put it on a block because I don't want any like harsh edges, especially with like stamps like these. So this is the text one, and you can see I can stamp it off into the middle where it's not going to be seen, so that when I do stamp it on, it's not as dark. And I do the same with the splotchy things. I kind of put them around where they'll be sticking out from the corners and edges of my mat. Then I took this arrow, and what I did is I didn't want the whole, I wanted to kind of blend off. See how it's not really sharp at the edge of the point? So I put a thicker piece of cardstock. So when I did that, it would kind of fade off instead of being a really harsh, crisp line. So I'm just placing my mat back on and sticking that happy days are here so that you can actually read it. But I cut off the arrows so I could keep them for something else. So I had to make sure I couldn't see where I cut. So now I'm just adding back in some little elements, all these arrows. And I made a little cluster down at the bottom. But I want that a third arrow, black arrow stamp. So I'm taking that back out again. If you can hear noise in the background, that's Cedric. He's here helping. So I put that piece of cardstock back down, and let's go this way. It didn't work the first time, didn't work the second time either, so then I just took away the cardstock and just add it. There we go, and that works. Looks good. And put that arrow back on. And then I'm going to I put my journaling on like scratch paper so I can kind of get an idea of how it would look. I was thinking of having it kind of going up as the leaves were. And now I'm going to work on my title. These are foam thickers, and it was really hard to get them straight because they're squashy and they sort of move around themselves. So it wasn't that I couldn't get them lined up, I couldn't get the actual letter, each letter to be straight. And that was an M because I didn't have any U's left. So I see I get a little bit of a M stuck on, so I'm snipping that off, and then I'm trying to get it straight. You can see how it's sort of wonky. And as I'm going back, I don't know where I went. Oh yeah, so I didn't have any O's that would fit. I tried the 0, that's what I was doing, but that didn't fit. And I tried like red, but that was too small. So I was trying to decide, oh, what about this big red button? That would be good. So working on the package here. But that's too small too. So what am I gonna do? Fiddle around, look for stuff. What can I put behind it maybe to make it bigger? And then I go to my stamp set and distress ink, and I stamp that flower, stamped it off first to get my stamp, sort of prepare my stamp kind of thing. Then I stamp it onto some white cardstock, and then I turn around it. It just not very neatly, just quickly. And then very slowly, I'm not a fast cutter apparently. Still cutting. I'll have to work on my cutting skills or edit this more. So you're watching my top of my hand will like cut off camera. Oh, sorry. Okay. So then what I did was got that flower in that same distress ink as I did the leaves, stuck it half under the U a little bit, and then I put an extra glue dot on that button. Yes, Hector, Cedric's helping because all the touching and stuff took some of the adhesive off. But I put the L, and that's also going over the flower a little bit. And then I took a different, the still foam thickers, but it's a different font for the other part of the title, the other word. So it's Live Loud, which my Anthony lives very loud. See, they're the actual letters themselves are not straight. It was really hard to work with them because they're so squashy. And then I decided, with loud, you need an exclamation point. And just straightening things up, sticking things down. You like that, Cedric? Oh, it's a nice page. Then I came back with some more red. I just put some splotches in this little corner over here. Some red watercolor. And then I'm sticking down that arrow. And now I need some little embellishments to sort of finish off the page. And this is like where I fuss and fuddle the most. I really like this geotag, but I have no idea where to put it. You can see I tried every single place on the page. So next I think we're into brads. I can't really see. I should check everything on the package before I start it. But anyway. Yeah, so these are just some red brads from the My Mind's Eye package. I don't know which one that one is. Oh, those are the same arrows as the pattern paper that's the arrows of the pattern paper underneath the photo. I think we're going to put a little brad with this cluster, another little brad up by that black arrow. No, yeah. Oh, yeah, we decided where we're going. And then I was trying to put some of these elements on because I really like them, but I couldn't decide what to do. Which this is basically how I work. Just try things here, try things there, put things on, take things off, move things around. That's that wood grain washi tape, and I just can't decide which way to put it. Little banner's nice too. I like that. Just put a little pop dot underneath it. Then I've got these red words. Oh, and up above the happy days are here, I put a black arrow stamp, if you can see. And I like to put their initials on in a little cluster somewhere or other. So that says, that's A for Anthony, and then I just got 3 other little words up above, and I think it says I love you on the bottom, but I can't remember. It's too far away for me to see from here. These are all, this is the fun part for me, all the finishing touches, adding lots of little things. I like these little enamel dots, they're a lot easier than brads. They're like gems and pearls, but easier to use on a boy page. Not that that stops me from using pearls and stuff on boy pages. I cut that little ticket in half and shoved it under there because it was fun, but I didn't want to use up the whole thing. Now I'm just drawing a little swirly bit for the twine, and I think my camera runs out here. So there's my finished page. Hope you like it. Okay, and here's the final layout. I have it pinned up on my wall. I'll just show you a little bit closer. Detail. Stamps and paints and stuff. There you go. I hope you like it.